There once was this giant, and he was a very mean giant. And he had a beautiful garden with loads of trees and flowers on the trees and fruit trees and everything. His garden was full of flowers and his garden was beautiful. And one day he decided to go over to visit his brother. And all the children after school, they all went into his garden and played every day. And 7 years later, the giant decided to come home. So he went home. When he saw all the children in his garden, he got very angry, and he told them all to leave, but they were all very upset. So the next season came spring, but spring didn't come to him. Just winter kept going in his garden. And one day a little flower popped up and he saw that there was no children in the garden, so he popped back down. And one day the giant woke up and he heard birds tweeting in his garden, and he jumped up and he saw all the little children, and he saw all the little children playing in his garden, and he said, I'm being so mean that I didn't let all the children in my garden, and that's why spring didn't come to my garden and he said, I'm going to be nice to them now. And he went down the stairs. And when he was going down the stairs, there was another window, and he looked out the window, and over in the corner there was a tree with loads of snow on it, and there was a little boy sitting under the tree crying because he couldn't get up on the tree. So the giant ran down the stairs and he went out the door, but all the children ran away when they saw him. And the little boy that was sitting underneath the tree, he didn't see the giant because all the tears were in his eyes. And so he went over to the little boy and he picked him up and he put him on the tree. And all the children ran back in to the garden because they saw him doing it. And they were all very happy playing with the giant, and the little boy was very happy as well. And the next day the children were all in the garden, but that little boy that was in the garden. And then the next day there's the children in the garden, but the little boy still wasn't there. And a few weeks after he wasn't there, and a few weeks after he was never in the garden. And one day the giant was waiting in the garden, waiting on all the children to come home from school so they could play in his garden. And there sat the little boy under the same tree. And he ran over and said to him, how come you weren't here? How come when you weren't in your garden? I missed you. And the little boy said, I just couldn't make it. And he said, because you've brought me to your garden, I'm going to bring you to my garden. And when the children came home from school, all they saw was the giant lying flat on his back under the tree, and he was dead. And all along that little boy was the giant's angel.
Yeah.